Welcome to the Do Zone, where entrepreneurs go to get things done. I'm your host, Josh Thomas. You can find me on all social media at JT Literally. Each week, I bring on experts from a variety of backgrounds to share their secrets on how to optimize performance so you can take massive action and crush your goals. The Do Zone is sponsored by Conversational Funnels. This is the easiest way to get more sales, which is to get more chances to sell. We used one simple conversational funnel to casually book 121 qualified sales opportunities in less than 2 weeks in a brand new market where we had zero presence and zero connections, all without spending on ads, doing cold outreach, or posting aimlessly on social media. This is the new way to close high-ticket clients in 2025. It only takes minutes to start booking calls. Download the blueprint for free at conversationalfunnels.com. Today's guest is Josh Woodward, a man with an excellent first name. He's a seasoned marketer with a decade of experience helping financial advisors reach high-end prospects. Through his agency, Mastermind Advisor Marketing, he aims to connect advisors with qualified prospects affordably and transparently. Josh, welcome to the Do Zone. Tell us something you believe is the key to getting stuff done that most people wouldn't think of.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. I'm glad to be here. Good question. I think the biggest key, and this is my philosophy, I think with everything in my business is, I just surround myself with good people, and so to getting things done and effective, I really do strongly believe in having a good quality team to back me up.
And so let's talk about what a good quality team looks like, what it's made of. Would you focus on the roles that you're filling or the people that are filling those roles?
Good question. And so when I looked at it first, when I first started building the company, I looked at it and like, what is it that I don't like to do, right? What's the repetitive, the mundane, that kind of aspect of things. And then bring people in to fill those spots. And then after that, it was kind of like the stage one of that feel. But then after that, I was listening to a podcast, and I don't know who it was. Um, but they brought into a fact of it's better to surround yourself with smarter people, right? You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. And so stage two of what I learned when we were growing was I try to be the dumbest person in the room now. And so in that sense, I bring in experts in each spot where I kind of
Sometimes
fall
that's
short.
really easy for us to do, you know?
Yes, yes,
Like I'll just walk
yeah.
in, like most of these rooms, I'm definitely the dumbest guy. So you guys just carry on with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a lot easier than what I expected, but it definitely worked out. And so where I fell short in knowledge is then where I started to look for people that were expertise in those areas. And that was really the stage two of that. And
Nice.
then the final stage of try to find good quality people on that is once you have someone that kind of does the stuff you don't want to do, two, they're educated. Third, you have to find someone that's like motivated, right? That'll go above and beyond and kind of believe in like your philosophy and your thought process and wanting to basically care. And so whenever I hire, those are the three things I kind of look into.
Yeah, love that. And really having the right people on the bus is the most essential thing. And then having the roles filled that keep the bus moving is a close second. And that's my opinion anyway. I
Mhm.
I will take somebody that is pleasant to be around, is proactive and responsible over the exact right qualifications 10 times out of 10, because I know that the person that's proactive and responsible and isn't a jerk, I know that I can teach them anything that I need them to know. But the other
Exactly.
person, who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, they could have all
Exactly.
kinds of other baggage.
Exactly. Yeah. They got to fit in with the group, but I've learned, when it comes to bringing in good people, it's probably like the most expensive part in any business. And so they're also a copy and paste of who you are and your representation in the company. And so once you find those right people, you just treat them well, and things tend to go pretty smoothly.
You said something there I think is really important to repeat. We're basically like a copy and paste of, our team is a copy and paste of who we are. And it's really interesting idea. And it's something that we really need to pay attention to in our lives because uh, whatever relationship we enter into, whether it's professional, personal, romantic, or whatever, we are very much reflecting whatever point we are in our life. I remember, and I'm not saying I got it all figured out, but I remember a time where I was, just thinking about girls I've dated. And I was just very personally attracted to people that were an absolute mess when I was an absolute mess, you know?
Mhm.
And I was drawn to other entrepreneurs and business owners who had this kind of fear and scarcity mindset when I had this fear and scarcity mindset.
Mm.
Now it's like whoever's in front of you is you, and whoever you hire is an extension of you. And what just you don't have to agree with me on it. It's just an observation from something that you just said. But since you said it, could you expand on that a little bit? Because I think that's important for a lot of people to hear.
Yeah, it's like the whole mantra of like your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And if you find someone that has the same sort of vibe and beliefs and um, to an extent, right? I also think you need to find someone that has sometimes like I had a partner in my business at one point and we had opposite beliefs. And so we counteracted each other really well to an extent, and so
To an extent, yeah.
to an extent, right? Because there are still off days, right? And there's arguments and that makes it a stressful sometimes. But if you can find someone that has like-minded, kind of the same sort of personality, beliefs, and goals, um, training's easy, but finding someone that has that ambition is hard. And so if you stick with that and just focus on that kind of aspect, you usually will find someone good to work with. Because at the end of the day, you spend more time with them than I do with my wife and my kids, right? It's just the nature of the business. So if we don't connect, it kind of makes that quote unquote 9 to 5, right? Difficult, and they will feel that as well, right? And then their goals and their ambitions and their pressure to succeed and move up and do better will fall short. They'll kind of lose that hunger.
So let's talk shop for a minute here.
Yeah,
You have taken a marketing agency from 0 to 150K a month. I'd like to know just quickly, what are some of the steps that somebody could take to be at, sitting there in park to going that fast and that far? And how fast did you do that, by the way? You don't look
yeah,
like you have very many gray hairs or anything. So,
yeah. I got lucky. So like out of college, I joined a financial firm and worked my way into sales basically with them. And then most salespeople, I wasn't, I'm okay at sales, right? But I found a way like if I market myself better, sales gets easier. And so I took that mantra into then this company, right? I think the biggest way to bring someone from 0 to 150K is one, niche down as much as possible, right? My niche market is financial advisors, mid to late 50s, looking to expand their business, right? And then I have certain interior, niche in there that are kind of industry specific, but niche down, and then find something that's repeatable. So our process for marketing and bringing someone on board and the funnels and the marketing and the Facebook ads and all of that stuff is very replicatable to where we can bring someone on, get them up to speed, get them marketing, and be successful in a relatively short time with not that much manpower. So
yeah.
I think there's 8 on our team right now, and we're able to successfully um, and comfortably manage the advisors we currently do.
Yeah, really building those systems around what you do so that it is repeatable and predictable is one of the keys to success that I think a lot of us really miss. And so as you're building this out, I mean, what were some of your initial stumbling blocks that you realized like, okay, well, we're not going to grow until we fix this?
Yeah, it's really the process, and so if we couldn't figure out how to scale our process and like our marketing, because like how we brought in, my partner before was a financial advisor, so we were to kind of use him as a test dummy, and we find things that work. But then when we try to duplicate it to another advisor and another advisor, 20, 30 advisors down the road, that was the part where we fell short. With technology now, it's been very easy. So systems like AI has been helps with some of that content stuff, but CRMs like high level and things like that really make our process easily to duplicatable. But it was not, I won't say dumb down our process, but automate the process, even on the advisor standpoint for marketing. I think the biggest thing is we made it so difficult that the advisor's like, I'm not going to do this, or I can't take the time to do this, or
Mhm.
dumb it down, make it simpler to understand, make it smoother. That was like our biggest headache. And then we scaled rapidly fast once we were like, it's just one, two, three, kind of clickable button, and they were off to the races.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, what is it that when you're working with a financial advisor, what is it that you really do differently than any other marketing agency? I mean, you got a ton of competition, and I imagine you have competition within the financial advisor space as well. So, how do you really get them the results that they need?
Yeah. This might hurt because I might bring more people into this niche. But
Tell us all your
honestly,
secrets.
yeah,
It's okay,
right.
man. Nobody's listening
No,
anyway.
yeah. No. So financial advisors are very much old marketing, very direct marketing with like, mailers, print, radio, television, things like that. And
Well,
very
there's a lot
little
of
of them.
regulations. I mean, if
There
you have
are.
a securities license, you basically are under a non-disclosure agreement that you can't even tell anybody what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there is that hurdle, right? But if you get through that aspect of things like the texting and stuff like that, disclosures, they have to add on all the emails, but they're just, they're like 4 or 5 years behind any person that's doing marketing now. So, like, if you look like an e-commerce business, right? They have to be on the cutting edge. They have to be the first in the industry to do something to really explode. And financial advisors, they're like, their marketing's like 4 years in the past. And so, if I can bring them up to speed, it really is sort of that simple, like getting them into like digital marketing on how easy Facebook ads can work, how well Google Analytics and the tracking and all of this can work, and email copy and all of that. And just explaining it to them and doing it that way and just introducing them to digital marketing. Their budget for like a mailer, just to put it in like kind of like money monetarily, is like they'll spend anywhere between 10 to 15K on say one seminar, one educational event, or to get in front of some people. With
Mhm.
digital marketing, I can show them that they can do it within like 3 grand. And so it's like that drastic of a change and then still be successful doing it. It's sort of like a win-win for an advisor.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I am curious, just because I have a lot of friends in that space, and I have tried advising them on a couple of marketing things here and there, and they're like, "That's great. I wish I could say that,
Mhm.
but it's going to have to go through compliance, and it'll take 2 months, and they're just going to tell me no anyway." And so, what are the ways that you can get, just specifically for that industry because it's so heavily regulated? What are some ways that you can actually market and advertise that particular business without running afoul of the SEC or FINRA?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can still market with Facebook and like the normal routes. And
Mhm.
all you have to do is be careful with like what you say, right? You can't promise anything. You can't guarantee that they're going to make money. You can't
Mhm.
promise like with this special secret, you're going to make 25 million. You can't do any of that
Right.
stuff, right?
But you
Um,
shouldn't be doing that anyway, basically.
right. Exactly. Yeah. That's the advisor we don't want to work with. So, but yeah, as long as you're teaching like a lot of the marketing we do is educational.
Mhm.
How to, we talk about maybe taxes or like Social Security or Medicare or something like that. And then do a webinar. But the way we get through compliance is everything's pre-written. The webinar's pre-recorded, and all that stuff's
Mhm.
already gone through multiple compliance people. And so,
Yeah.
as long as we can copy and paste that sort of format, um, then you kind of get through compliance. Because really,
That's
yeah,
smart, and that goes right back to the first thing that you said at the beginning, which is, hey, if we can copy and paste, then
exactly.
that's going to make everything more efficient. And so, and for those of you who aren't familiar, I mean, the SEC and FINRA, it's no joke. Like they have a very heavy hammer, and they are looking for you to say the one wrong word, and not only are you going to get fined, but you might lose your license and you probably go to prison.
Yep.
Like they don't mess around.
Yep.
And so having this kind of pre-approved, already been through compliance, just, have a look for yourself. And then it's just one less hassle that's going to reduce those delays and reduce that friction so that they can get in front of people.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's important just because w- we hold on that responsibility too. So like if an advisor comes and works with us and I'm like, yeah, this works and this is great, let's do it, and they go do it, and then all of a sudden they lose their license, that's on me. And so we have to be very particular on how we do it and then all that. But once again, that's that duplicatable process, right? Once we figured that aspect out and we're able to duplicate it, then we can kind of scale, and that's how we were able to do that.
So tell us how we can learn more about if there's a financial advisor out there or somebody that's curious about what you do. Where can we go and how can they connect with you?
Yeah, you can just go to our site, it's mastermindadvisor.com, or I'm pretty heavy on LinkedIn and I stay up on there. So if you just look up Josh Woodward on LinkedIn, I should be on there. Those would be the two best places to reach us.
Very good. So, hey, we're going to wrap up from here. Thanks so much to our guest, Josh Woodward, for joining us and sharing some wisdom about how he gets stuff done. For those of you who are interested in learning more about what he does, you can go to Mastermind. Wait, did I get that right?
Yep, mastermindadvisor.com.
Mastermindadvisor.com. Sorry about that. I was like, I don't know if it was Mastermind or, yeah, it was. Mastermindadvisor.com. Josh Woodward, everybody. While you're on your morning commute in the gym or somewhere out in the field, snap a selfie, tag me at JT Literally. Show me what you do while you're in the do zone. And one more time, if you want to stuff your calendar with qualified and motivated ideal clients who want what you have, download the Conversational Funnels Blueprint for free at conversationalfunnels.com. That's it. Now let's get to work. Hey, thanks for listening to the Do Zone podcast. If you're running a service-based business that's looking to grow this year, let's talk about how we can slingshot you into momentum with a quick injection of cash and sales. Our clients typically see results in as little as 7 days. To learn more about what we do, you could go to factor1.io. Once again, that's factor1.io. We'll see you next time.